I'd like to introduce to you a band that you know and love. Come to you like the sound of equipment being thrown from a moving van, the sound of dead cell phones and oil rigs, the sound of empty parking lots and school buses. They love to live and live to love. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Children of America, the White Stripes.
Hello, come on in. Water's great. My name is Ryan Chapin. This is the hardest podcast to podcast, the only podcast covering the White Stripes. I said I would check last week. Let's take a look. White Stripes podcasts. Striped and the hardest. Okay, and we're good. And an episode of Bandsplain. Okay, so we're good. We are the only active podcast covering the White Stripes, and we are celebrating their music catalog one song at a time, one song per week, one song per episode, and if all goes well, one episode per week. You know, we knew there would be peaks, and we're working on some big peaks, some exciting upcoming episodes, but with those peaks come valleys. This episode this week, the episode, I'm recording this before I do the interview. That'll happen in about 45 minutes. The song this week is a valley. This is a song that I've never liked. I've never enjoyed in the slightest. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I listened to it for the first time in its entirety today, stuck in traffic. Maybe the environment heightened my thoughts on the song. But I do not like Who's a Big Baby. I like a lot of things about how and why the White Stripes recorded, wrote, recorded, produced, and released Who's a Big Baby, but I don't have to like what it is as a song. We'll see what our guest this week, Brett from the Vidos, thinks of this song. Yeah. Gear up for this one. That call to action is going to be a tough one, but you know we'll talk about the band in this era, and kind of getting the opportunity to be a little more freeform and do what they want, not worry about what people will think or how they'll be perceived, because they're a big hot band at this point in their careers. If you're new here, here's a little what we're doing. We are doing one song per episode, and we are working our way through the entire catalog of the White Stripes released music. And we are randomly covering one song per episode. And all of the songs are in a giant goblet. It's like a throwback lottery cauldron over in the other room, and that's where I dive in and I pull out, and by golly, that's the randomization. No, it's not entirely that random, but it's pretty random. So all the songs are on the table except for three. Those are my three secret songs that I have not told anybody about, even Amanda. Certainly not that Mike Noble character. And those songs are going to be reserved for our boy Jack White himself, because, as you know, the lofty goal of this show is to have Jack on this show not once, not twice, but thrice to discuss whether it's his songs or that era of the band, or have a conversation centered around those songs. It's a lofty goal. He's got way more Instagram followers than I do. He said 6'7" on his Instagram, promoting the Jimi Hendrix vault package this week. So he's got bigger and better things, but we're going to convince him to come on this show. And if you're going, Ryan, how the hell are you going to convince him to do that? And I'm going to say, it's not me, it's you, the delightful audience, the delightful listeners of the hardest podcast to podcast. Because every time you listen, every time you go and pause the podcast and go to your streaming platform of choice and increase that listener data, the more noise that this show makes, the easier it's going to easier it's going to be for Third Man Records to hear us, hear you. So just keep it up, keep spreading the word, keep telling friends, keep checking out our podcasts. And hey, you know what we did last week? We launched the Hardest Podcast to Podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/hardestpodtopod. We have two tiers. and I'm quite satisfied with the names of these tiers. We got one tier, and these are in Canadian dollars. So if you're American, you are getting away scot-free. This is like free 99. So the $5 Canadian tier, that's called Steady As She Goes. So if you want to support this show, you want to get access to our bonus content, which will be on regular rotation and regular releases over at the Patreon at Hardest Pod to Pod, you become a Steady As She Goes. But let's say you want to, you got a few more bucks in the pocket, a couple of more shekels in the bank. You can go up to the Highball Stepper tier, which gives you all the bonus content and allows you to pitch and suggest bonus episodes. If you want me to review with somebody an album, a song, a movie, anything Jack White related, that's what you get. That's the opportunity you get as a Highball Stepper. So that's over at patreon.com/hardestpodtopod. And the other way you can support the show is by going to buymeacoffee.com/hardestpodtopod. No bonus content there, no repeat donations. But if you say Ryan did a good episode this week discussing the worst song in the White Stripes catalog in Who's a Big Baby, he's going to get $4. Well, by golly, that's going to get reinvested right back into the show, which is what we're going to do with all the money from the Patreon. It's all about making this show bigger, better, louder, funner, faster, funnier, gooder, etc., etc. So those are some ways that you can support this show with cash. Let's say you ain't got none of that, and who does? We got the pockets are inside out. We just had Blue Monday. The bills are coming in after Christmas. It's tough. I don't need to hear it. I know it. I'm living it. If you're going, man, I want to help out Ryan, I like this show, here's what you do. You go to your podcast. Where do you listen to your podcasts? You go there, you rate us 5 stars. You give us a nice review, and you tell some friends. And then you go, hey, this was a good episode. This is a good clip that I saw on their Instagram. You're going to give us a follow on Instagram. You're going to give us a follow on TikTok. You're going to give us a follow on Blue Sky, and you're going to spread the word of this show on those platforms. And that's all you can really do, and that's all you need to do. Maybe you tell a friend who likes music or is skeptical about the White Stripes. You say, hey, this Ryan guy, he'll tell you otherwise. Whatever you got to do to help grow this footprint, that's how we're going to achieve our goals here, and that's how we're going to have more fun. And we are working on some fun in the coming weeks. But this week is not fun. This week is about Who's a Big Baby, a B-side to Blue Orchid. Didn't even make the vinyl pressing. It was just a CD single. Apologies in advance to you, the listener. Listen, I don't hate anything about this song. I just don't want to listen to it. I like everything about the process that comes to making it and the fun that's probably into it. But sonically, when it comes on shuffle, I'm hit and skip. No knock to them. Bands need to be in this place of freedom, whether that comes from a financial freedom or the freedom that comes with popularity or acceptance. Bands deserve that. The White Stripes deserved it, and they deserved the opportunity to get a little silly during the Get Behind Me Satan recording sessions. So begrudgingly, hit pause on this podcast, go to your streaming platform of choice, go listen to Who's a Big Baby right now. Okay, so now that you've listened to Who's a Big Baby, it's as fresh in your mind as it is in my mind and Brett's mind when we discuss this song. And as I said, the more times that you follow this call to action each and every episode and go, oh, it's time to listen to this song, we increase our little streaming data, our little blip. It's an excellent way to contribute to this cause. And when Who's a Big Baby, which has the fewest amount of listens I've ever seen on Spotify, when it gets 100 or 200 listens out of the blue, somebody's going to notice. And that's how we get Big Jack on the show. Yeah, so go listen to Who's a Big Baby, and let's go talk to Brett. Our guest this week performs in the great band of Vidos, performing the art of sludge pop, as they call it. Please go check out their latest single, We Won't Waste Wine. And their song, The ICU, is catchy as hell. It's gotten multiple plays in the last 14 hours or so for me. He is Brett Hornall. Brett, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Ryan. Good to meet you, brother.
It's great to meet you too. At this point in my life, the hour-long conversations I have with complete strangers about one specific White Stripes song, it's getting more and more special. So I appreciate you hopping on. And before we talk about a song, a piece of music, tell me about your connection to the White Stripes.
Well, I think the White Stripes, or like Jack White, single-handedly taught me how to play guitar.
Hell yeah.
There's this, I, it's probably I was in grade 6 when Icky Thump dropped. Not to age myself,
Doing some
but,
math here.
but, and, you know, my friend, I used to walk to school with my friend Austin Maller every day, and he had the iPod. I didn't have any technology in the house growing up. Real, Jack White approved household, I would say. No gadgets,
Screen
but
time at an all-time low.
exactly. But but yeah, my best friend Austin would he'd share a headphone with me, and
Oh yeah.
be listening to all sorts of stuff. He shaped my entire music taste. But when Icky Thump dropped, that was the first like White Stripes song that I was aware of. Hilariously, out of all songs, it was the first single off the last record. So I was but immediately I was hooked, and I didn't even play guitar at that point.
Yeah.
But I was like, and then my friend he did, and he showed me. I'm like, I gotta get one. So I got this London Shrugs guitar, and then I used to go to the library, print off tabs from a from a
ultimateguitar.net or whatever it was.
well, yes, but then I don't know if you remember. I'm sure they probably still do, but Ultimate Guitar had like a comment section
Yeah.
at the bottom, and someone was like, "This is good, but if you want the real deal, go
Broken
to
bricks.
brokenbricks.com." Hell yeah, dude. Again, no one knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, when I got your text the other day, do you want to come on? I'm like, yeah, dude, I got to talk to a head. No one cares. Like, no one cares when I talk about this stuff to them. But yeah, man, brokenbricks.com. I can't remember the dude's name. It was one dude single-handedly tabbed everything.
He would tab everything, and I can remember because I started learning guitar in high school. I graduated in 05, so I probably got about 10 years or so on you, maybe, about give or take. But I can remember math is hard on a day like today. But I can remember like around the time the singles for Elephant came out, you'd go to Broken Bricks, because everything, nowadays you could like download an app and Metallica themselves will show you how to play their songs.
Yeah.
But like, in this early, sophomore era of the internet, that information just wasn't available. And he'd leave comments like, okay, I got to listen to St. Ides of March, the B-side to Hardest Button to Button. I'm going to try to get it done for the weekend. And like,
that's right, dude. There's a bulletin too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The message board on Broken Bricks, man. Yeah.
So that warms my heart already, because like I would go there and like, I can pretend I can play guitar. I know chords A through G. Don't ask me to play any solos, but like I could just, the White Stripe songs are muscle memory for me, and because of Broken Bricks.
Oh, dude, that's so cool, man. That's so cool. Yeah. Good to meet a fellow brickie, Yeah.
When I Bricky. There's dozens of us. When Jack played the Commodore last year, I went to both nights, and my wife and I went, and I'm like, if there was ever an audience, if there was ever a group of people, the target audience for this podcast, it is at this show, standing in line hours before. So we
Yeah.
just started going through one by one in the lineup and just giving our sales pitch, giving them the business card. And like the first person that I talked to, one, they already listened to the show, which was hilarious. And then
Nice.
and then they're like, "Hey, were you on the Little Room back in the day, like the White Stripes other forum?" And I'm like, yeah, come on." So it's this pre-modern internet lore. It just gets more and more heartwarming as you go.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I didn't know about that because you only get an hour at the library on the computers and it boots you off. So I would just get on there and just like print off as many tabs as I could in that span of time.
I love it. Tell me, how did Jack or how did the White Stripes, how did that influence kind of learning to play music and just towards creating your own music? Was there an influence that kind of took over?
Well, again, with the broken bricks, like the dude had an insane ear. The tabs are so accurate, down to the like just all the minutia is there.
Yeah.
And all the ghost notes and stuff like that. So it really you see the numbers and brackets, you're like, what the, maybe this is too inside baseball, but whatever. You're like, what does that mean? And then you kind of it teaches you to like play with like these really rudimentary dynamics and like
Yeah.
the X's where you rake your pick across the string and stuff like that. So it really like the first couple years of my music career, I was just in my bedroom,
Yeah.
sitting on the bed, like flipping through these tabs that I printed off, and like just same thing, just trying to get that muscle memory. And like with the White Stripes, a couple of years in, I managed to convince my dad to buy me a whammy pedal. I guess I was telling him all about it. He's like, "Oh, that sounds dope." And he's a big White Stripes head too. He loved Blue Orchid was his jam.
Yeah.
So that was my second White Stripes song that I ever heard was Blue Orchid. And but I was like, to get that effect, he's got this thing that doubles the octave. It makes it sound like a guitar and bass are playing at the same time. And he's like, "Oh, that sounds great," and we get down to the music store, it's $300. But we'd already kind of had we've been talking about it for weeks. We made a date, we went down, and he's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know it was gonna be." I was like, I had no idea it was gonna be that much. I had no concept of anything at that time. So I'm like, yeah, I'm 11 years old, and he's like, all right, let's do it. And I to his credit, like, yeah, he was in from day one. So but sorry, dude, I keep rambling, but I was driving at there is like between the accuracy of these tabs that I found online, my whammy pedal that my dad guilt bought me, and and the percussive kind of manner of playing that he does to fill in the extra beats. You kind of can be your own band in your bedroom.
Totally.
And march to the beat of your own guitar pick a little bit, and yeah. So.
I love that you have a parental Digitech whammy story. I remember I had a part-time job at the time at the grocery store, and I was buying anything. Like at one point, I recreated Jack White's like White Stripes pedal board, and
oh, cool.
And so I had ordered a Digitech whammy from the Long McQuaid in Port Coquitlam. And my mom and I grew up in high school. We lived with my dad, and we'd go to my mom's on the weekends, and she would come and pick us up. And I was like, "Can you go to Long and McQuaid in Port Coquitlam and pick up my Digitech whammy?" And she's like, so, mom went and picked it up, and I couldn't use it to save my life because I thought, I'm like, I don't want to solo, so I don't need the octave up. I don't want to cover Seven Nation Army, so don't need the octave down. But fuck, did it look like a cool piece of White Stripes memorabilia that just kind of sat in the corner for a while.
Totally. Well, dude, yeah, I mean, like, and that's the funny thing is what I realized much later was I could have just gotten a Pog. It would have had the same effect, but because all I used was the octave double effect. That was the only thing. I had the dial,
Can I blow
set
your
to the
mind?
corner.
I gotta blow your mind and poke some holes in this story. He
Let's
uses the
go.
Pog on Blue Orchid.
Yeah, no, I figured that out much later.
He doesn't. You don't need a whammy at all for Blue Orchid.
No. No, I know. Don't tell
Trust me.
my dad's gonna hear this.
Trust me, the old man knows. He's pissed. He wants his
Yeah.
back.
Awesome.
So no more beating around the bush. In talking about the White Stripes, I kind of suggested I said, hey, what's your era? What albums are you drawn to? And you joked you said I wouldn't mind talking about Take, but if I'm gonna have a conversation with a real brickie about Who's a Big Baby, I'm not gonna turn that opportunity down. And Brett, there's a handful of songs that I like. I'm not dreading. I'm just knowing that there ain't a lot to talk long form about. The running gag was Slicker Drips off the first album. And I'm like, there's nothing on this, no knock. It's a song on an album. Luckily, I was able to do an episode when they go into the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, okay, I will talk about the Hall of Fame induction, and then I'll spend 8 minutes on Slicker Drips at the end by myself.
Just shoehorn it in kind of at the end. Yeah. No, that's clever. I noticed that.
But this, so it's Who's a Big Baby. It's a hell of a song. Why did it pop into your head? And what I don't think you listen to this all that regularly. So what happened? What went through your mind when you suggested it and when you listened to it?
Well, again, you and I texted a little bit the other day, and you're talking about Get Behind Me, Satan, and the first episode I listened to was the I'm lonely, but I ain't that lonely yet. I wanted to start chronologically, and so I listened to that episode, and it just got me kind of down a rabbit hole of thinking just how great of a record that is.
Oh yeah.
And I love it more and more kind of every time I listen to it, every time I revisit it in my adult life. And for various reasons, which I'm sure we can get into, because as you said, not a ton to talk about on the baby S side of things, but no, so whatever. I started with that, but I obviously scanned the episodes that were out to see what was off the table already, and a couple of my faves were taken, and that's actually why for the people at home, I'm here because my partner Amanda didn't want to do it because Mike Noble took my doorbell already.
Our booker.
and that's her favorite song. So, but anyway, I scanned the track list, or the episode list, and I was like, I kind of got the vibe. I was like, okay, so I mean, there's some great ones still on the table.
Oh yeah,
which is awesome. As a guest by proxy, I'm not gonna just jump in and steal Seven Nation Army. I'm not gonna do that. But I did say you're doing me the favor. You're allowing me on the show with very little knowledge of who I am. I wanted to return the favor and get one of these burner episodes out of the way. But I thought I was like, there is some stuff. There's some stuff that we can bat around about this song, and it might be kind of a fun way to get to know each other a little bit. So yeah, again, it's so funny because I was all pumped. I'm listening to the episode. I'm like, I can't wait to talk, really eloquently about how the lyrics and the production and just whatever. And then and then I was just like, what if I went on and we'd both talk about a song that nobody in the world likes? What about that?
It is the least listened to um studio recording on Spotify. So I went
Oh,
through
yeah.
today, and it's got 95,000 listens, and it is only on the Blue Orchid EP. The lowest listened to one is a live cover or live performance of Do, which doesn't really
Mm.
count. So like nobody likes this song. You type in "Who's a Big Baby" on Google, and it's like, here are 10 times the White Stripes missed or whatever, and you're like, it's bad. It is so bad. I'm going to be 100% honest with you and with everybody. I think I did a top 5 on this show of like lame, uncool songs or least liked White Stripes songs in my opinion, and I think "Who's a Big Baby" was number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
And I have never listened to this song front to back in my life in the 21 years that it has been released. And I had the CD single. I remember,
Dude, that's
I
it's track
turned this.
2. It's track 2.
That's the good one.
Yeah. It's Blue Orchid, Who's a Big Baby, out the gates, dude. So
Gosh.
funny, man.
Like I remember listening as I would have just graduated high school when Get Behind Me Satan comes out. And I remember getting the CD single because I was buying everything. And I'm like, just like that stupid pitch of the voice comes up. And I'm like, oh, I'm never listening to this again. And I never did. And I got into the car. I started listening to it to get fresh and, to have it fresh in my mind yesterday and today. And I put it on in the car and I'm like, 3.5 minutes?
I know, dude.
There's
Longest.
some of the best White Stripes songs barely crest the 2-minute mark, like 2:30, and they're dicking around on "Who's a Big Baby" for 3.5 minutes, and I gotta listen. I was looking at it, and when you were in like school and like the clock is going slow, and you're just like,
Yeah.
like I like watch pot never boils. I was looking at my Apple CarPlay in the car, being like, this is bad, man.
You're like 55 seconds. We've only been through 55 seconds. I listened to it. I listened to it like right before I hopped on the call, like just to have it super fresh. It's so funny because it's like it's just in my head. It's actually like the part like towards the end where like the baby voice comes in, like mimicking the fucking keyboard line. Do 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 do. It's just like spinning around my mind as we're talking, right? Dude, it's unbearable. I feel like I'm losing my freaking mind, dude.
So the sonically, like musically, the Jack White's playing he's playing his Rhodes organ and a marimba, and
It
that's
sure is.
and playing with and Meg's just kind of playing. Meg is playing what is best described as the I'm just following along to see where this guy's brain goes, because like watching them kind of improvise live, her kind of you know keep it loose, kind of keep it open is just a boom, which is what she's
Totally.
it's like she's like, I don't know where this cat's gonna go, and he's got his back to me. I just got to keep it as basic as possible. So it sounds like, I don't know about you. You record music, you perform. Does this song sound like they are not necessarily doing a sound check, but like kind of just dicking around with instruments at the start of a session?
Yeah, dude, it's either the start of a session or the end of a very long, productive day. And they just wanted to goof around, man. It's like, yeah, I was reading the credits, and
Yeah.
the drummer of the Rack on Tours was hanging out. He was there for this session. He was in the room, just letting it happen. Honest, like he's complete, like
He's
he's
complacent.
compliant. Yeah. In the like, yeah, dude, he's going down with the ship if But anyway, like, yeah, they're just having it. It was never meant to be heard by people, but
Yeah.
it was like and this obviously this is theory because there's no lore about this song whatsoever, hardly any lore about this song whatsoever. So this is pure conjecture, but like, they're just like, wouldn't it be funny? And then they're like, what'd be really funny? Track two on the CD single. Back when they printed CD singles regularly. Like, someone's gonna listen to this in their car. And that's the funny thing, like, that's the thing about this era, right?
Yeah.
The 2005, whatever, whenever it was recorded. Was it recorded in 2005, the record, Get Behind Me
Yes, it
Satan
was. Yeah.
sessions? So yeah, the is a weird year, I guess, for these guys, but the the I mean, they basically do that on the record too, with they the lead off single sounds like basically nothing like the rest of the album, right? Blue Orchid.
Correct.
The
I think
the
it's one
single
of
that the,
well,
the
there's
single
like
that this song belongs to.
there's like 2 or 3 songs on the album with electric guitar. Everything else is piano or
True.
acoustic.
It's true. And like, but like no shade to the Nurse. I love the Nurse. It's actually like it was one of my favorite songs off the record when I first heard it. Because I didn't understand the record. I didn't really care for the
No.
album. I hear that a lot from people. That, when they first heard it, they're a little too young to grasp it or whatever. And it wasn't Elephant, right? It wasn't the hits. But, this is a band following up their hit record and zigging instead of zagging, right?
I love that.
But
Go ahead.
yeah. No. You go ahead. I've talked enough. Keep it
When
going,
I
Papa.
well, I'm enjoying it. When I hear this, my first thought goes to like, this is a band that is there's not a lot of restraints on them. There's a level of freedom that they're feeling in terms of like, we can be creative. We're like, we've had the make and break moments and we've made it. And now
Mm,
if there's something, they've never taken themselves too seriously and like to be goofy and kind of fool around and have a sense of humor. And I think that at this point in their career, Jack gets to be as creatively fulfilled as possible,
mhm.
on the albums. But then like on this stuff, he's like, well, it's just like, like you said, wouldn't it be funny if after they listen to the big single, they've got to listen to Who's a Big Baby and like try to figure out if this was a joke or if we're just bad. And like they could do that. And it's really it's cool to hear a band that, they're not comfortable, but they can be themselves as much as they want and nobody's going to tell them not
Mhm.
to.
Dude, I mean, totally. But I think, like, what I was talking about, like, with Get Behind Me Satan,
Mhm.
I think the Nurse is kind of a wouldn't this be funny thing, too. Because it's like, they're not going to expect this marimba shit coming at them. Like, they're not. Like,
No.
no one's going to. And then that's track two, too. But it really does set the tone for, like, what the majority of the record is going to sound like. And
Yeah.
it's super experimental and really cool. And obviously, Who's a Big Baby is not that, but Who's a Big Baby on the single Blue Orchid feels like them doubling down on that idea of like, wouldn't this be funny? Like, yeah, as
They
we keep saying.
what's great about this era, and I want to say like, '04 through, Jack going to do the Raconteurs album, they with that freedom comes this like, you know they get to do things exactly like the way they want to do them. They want to do their live DVD shot only on Super 8s. You know they, they want to perform Death Letter at the Grammys, and like they're
Hmm.
just going to do it. Merchandise, well, when I do the top special episode, it'll be about their weird merch they were selling during the Get Behind Me Satan tour, this like 3-inch little record player that
Hmm.
so they were able to do that. And the band has always been about quirks. Jack White's always been about leaving these little goofy Easter eggs ever since he was an upholsterer, and he would leave poems or singles
Yeah.
or whatever in the furniture he works on. So to like, they're able to really do this on a grander scale. And
Mm-hmm.
it's Who's a Big Baby aside, like this era in terms of creativity, they were really getting to do so much with that success and the money they're bringing in. There was talk of them on their Australian New Zealand tour of doing Satan, that they were going to record the whole album in a studio in one go or whatever, like off the
Mm.
floor. And there was an issue bringing the gear in. So like, this is a band that is like, hey, we got big piles of money, let's do cool shit with it.
Totally, man. And well, you talk about the upholstery, those Easter eggs, like the putting the like writing poetry in the inside the couches and stuff like that. He's got and you hear like Ben Blackwell talk about like his sense of humor and stuff like that. That not a
Yeah.
lot of people get to see, like at least if you're just looking at the music. It doesn't always come. He's got a musical sense of humor too, but it's usually a little bit more, subtle, toned down, clever,
Yeah.
turns of phrase, just a classic musical sense of humor. This is him really, is probably, as I would say, as close as we get to seeing the real, Jack White's sense of actual humor is doing this song. But like, I believe it's Meg White doing the vocal, right? I
I
think.
Yeah, Meg is doing vocals. I'm looking at it now. Again, there's so little to go off this
I
song
know.
that I'm like, here's what the back of the single says. So
Well, there
Meg
you
is
go.
singing, and I
Yeah.
remember on the Satan tour, on the guitar, on the microphone that's in front of Meg's drum kit, that Jack would use to sing, he had an effects board at
Mm.
that. So that microphone would go through. I think it goes through a pog. It goes through like some sort of pitch changer. I don't know if it's a whammy, but like he would sing this weird, this stuff through these weird effects on that tour.
Mm.
If you watch them play Glastonbury, he's like speaking to them through this gimmick, and I'm like, all right, just speak normally, please. Come on, buddy. So
Dude, he's just feeling that
he
day. He
he was
was
having a good
compelled
time.
to. Yeah.
And yeah, they're setting up this gear, and he probably just said, "Hey, Meg, sing 'Who's a Big Baby," and he's sitting there probably dialing it up, and they're like, "Hey, this is kind of working. Let's roll with it."
Well, yeah, I wonder. I mean, I started with a theory. Luckily, you sent along the song credits because I was gonna come on here with the bold prediction that Meg may have been the principal songwriter of this song. I know that's maybe a little far out, but she's got those things, those keyboard or those like,
The bells,
whatever those bells things are.
yeah,
But like she can play whatever, like individual. It's a very simple song. Like she could have just been standing there playing the melody for this song.
yeah,
Like the wow, 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 wow. And Jack might have heard that and just been like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's plug that in. Let's see if we can come up with something over it. And they probably gave themselves like a deadline. They're like, let's see if we can do this in half an hour. Just
totally,
bang it out. Let's just see what happens. Because again, they were either really feeling it, like they had a really good day, they were just setting up the studio, or they had a really bad day and they're like, fuck it, if we don't come out of this session with anything. Like, we have to come out of this session with something. But yeah, like whatever. I mean, maybe that's really, really out there, but her being the vocalist, I'm not gonna
you.
lie to you, I was surprised to hear some drums on it too, because I don't remember there being drums. I think I skipped maybe before I realized there was a beat, like a beat to it.
Oh wait, there's more. There's actually instruments on this. Well, I didn't
Yeah,
I didn't hear that the first time I listened to it for about 14 seconds.
I was too scared. I was too scared when I
It's
first heard it.
it is spooky. Um,
Yeah.
you mentioned whether it was a good session or a bad session. Based on what I've I've read in White Stripes lore about the Get Behind Me Satan recording sessions. Like they were fraught with issues and
Hmm.
equipment breaking down and just like nothing working right. And it
Mm.
was Jack coming up with the Blue Orchid riff that kind of got them back on the rails. And he
Hmm.
said at times they wanted to abandon, just like give up on it. And maybe that was on
Wow.
the Who's a Big Baby day.
That's awesome. Well, that's, bless them for paying homage to to how, you know, weird the sessions were by like letting that see the light of day. I think it's actually a little gift.
Man, I love it. It reminds me. I don't know if I've told this story on the show before, but it's like one of my favorite bands is the Replacements, and they they were perennial fuck ups, and that's what made them so lovable and charming. And for their I want to say second album, they were just like getting hammered every day in the studio, not doing anything. And their kind of manager comes in, it's like, you guys got to record something. Like, you guys are wasting all this money. And Paul Westerberg's like, he's like, he gets everybody to go on a different instrument, and they start, and he just goes into the mic and he's like, Hoot Nanny and E, and they just start playing this like country twanger song that nobody can perform. It's not in time, and it's just Westerberg going, it's a hoot nanny. Yes, that's a hoot nanny. And then
Mm.
they hit stop, and he's like, great, that's the first song on the album, lead off track. And like, just to be a complete little shit.
Yeah.
And part of me thinks like they're goofing around with Who's a Big Baby, and it's like, yeah, make that the B-side.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Yeah, I when I first heard it, I think I was cutting the grass. I'm 13 years old. I'm cutting the grass. By this point, I had access to an iPod, and I was torrenting.
And a
You
lawnmower.
know. Yes, that's right. Who let that happen? But I had to work off the whammy pedal somehow, man.
So
But
you're mowing the lawn. You got this song, this piece of music come on, and it
yeah,
scares
yeah.
you.
Oh, I was terrified. Yeah, I don't think I let it finish because I thought, again, I'm torrenting.
Yeah,
I thought someone was like, I thought there was like it was a cursed like torrent, like someone like there
yeah,
was evil like in the internet that wasn't a White Stripes song at all, and like I had to like do some research to figure out if it even was. But then but there's a clue because the next song that came on, I don't care for at the time I didn't care for remixes and I didn't care for live tracks,
yeah,
so I skipped the middle two songs and it was right to um what if I hear you calling I will not answer,
yeah,
which is also a really scary song. And I was like,
yeah.
no, that was definitely them. Like, yeah, like they did it again because you can hear that baby voice in the
Oh
background,
God,
and it's
yeah,
really disturbing actually. But I was like, this is it. Yeah, I don't know. At the time, I was like, I was like, I don't know if I can ever trust the White Stripes again. I felt
yeah.
betrayed.
you you bring up a great point about torrenting music or using peer-to-peer software back in the day,
Mm,
because people would put these like joke files out there, or they'd be misnamed, or somebody would
mm,
say that it was by an artist and it wasn't. And
mhm.
there would also, like, it would be remixes. You'd always like somebody's half-assed version of a remix or whatnot would also be there, and
Yeah.
you'd get something that, whether somebody would intended to troll you or just like had all the files on their computer available for download, like you'd counter
Mhm.
this like insane shit. So to hear this
Yeah.
weird ass song and then see like a high fidelity remix or whatever it's called, a Blue Orchid,
Mhm.
like my
Mhm.
first reaction would be like, okay, some guy got me. Like, I don't know if
Mhm.
this is just bad or if it's full of viruses, but they got me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Exactly. That's a good way to describe Who's a Big Baby, is it's full of viruses.
uh, the cover art for that single is also quite strange because it
Oh,
features
dude. So surreal, man.
two
Yeah.
people that aren't the White Stripes.
That clearly aren't the White Stripes. Yeah, yeah.
One
It's
for
very
sure.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
The Megan on this one is black.
Yeah, yeah. No, but the Jack one is kind of like, did he get a spray tan? You know, yeah. It's really bizarre. I believe, is that image not on the inside of the CD,
On the
the
album,
CD booklet?
I think it might be. I'm not too sure. He's as as you go and grab it off
I
the
got it
shelf.
right here.
But
There's some. No, it's not. There's the one with Jack
and the girls, and
with
then
the Mother Mary.
Oh, jeez.
Some cool images, but yeah, no, sorry, that one's not in there. But
Yeah. So I remember getting this, and I'm like, "Is this like a goof?" And at that point, you don't know everything about a band's sense of humor or kind of artistic or creative direction. So you're like, I remember buying this. Like, I hope this. I'm like, why would HMV have a counterfeit or a bootleg single?
yeah,
And yeah, it's the White Stripes. The White Stripes are based on the most the at their core they're like the brother and sister lie. So to like have all these goofy lies, because does it matter
yeah,
that there's two people that are dressed like them but aren't them on the cover? No, but for some reason it's like a real crime that they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and they're just doing what
totally, yeah.
every other band and every other artist has done before them.
Well, exactly. But the fact that it mimics the true album cover almost verbatim, and like
Yeah.
it is neat. It's super cool. And but yeah, I don't know. I think the whole thing, the this whole single is a total like red herring in the catalog. Yeah, it really is. It's just like there's the cool thing about this song I'm learning is there's no explanation for it.
Yeah.
The song we're talking about in this episode. And there apparently never will. I don't imagine there ever will be. And why would there be? Like we're the only two people on the planet talking about it right now. I can almost guarantee that. Dude, we're 2 out of 90,000 people who've ever listened to this song.
Since Spotify opened
Yeah.
or launched, 90,000 people in the world have listened to Who's a Big Baby. I don't know what the Apple Music number is, but I can tell you about 15 are me in the last day or so.
Yeah, sorry again about that. About making you listen to it, for the episode.
Hey, I made that choice, and I knew that if we have a fun time with the Freak Show episode, when we talk about take when you're back, we'll have a great time. And
how do you think this is going? Am I gonna get a
I
chance
love
to
it.
come back?
Like, this is a blast. Like, the last thing you want is for a song of just chaos and confusion as Who's a Big Baby is to have a guest on and be like, yeah, I think it's a little weak musically.
Yeah.
I don't really like it. There's
I've
no
just
one.
got
Yeah. It's like, what can you say? No, it's a representation of so much about the band that we love, and the representation is like the last thing I want to listen to.
That's so true, man. They took it to the utmost, man. It's the pinnacle of why this band is so cool. And it's unexpected. They dropped the song that Ween would just go, that's a piece of shit. Like they're both like, I wanted to say, like, I mean, I'm sure you probably did this too. You probably wanted to take a last ditch effort at seeing if there's anything online about this song. But I went to there's like 3 fan uploaded, still image YouTube clips of this song.
Yeah,
And a couple of them have some discourse in the comments section. And I pulled some of my favorite comments I wanted to
I
share
love
with
this.
the
I
people
gotta
at home.
please read their usernames
Uh,
too when you do.
oh, I didn't write them down. I got them on notebooks. I think,
Okay,
but
I
whatever.
can't
I'll,
wait to
I'll
hear
make
them.
them up as I go. But yeah, you know what? I'll start with this one. The song is so good, but Meg's vocals ruin it. If Jack,
Way to go,
if
Meg.
if Jack was singing it, it would be awesome. End of quote. Like that is absolutely objectively untrue. That's a bot, dude. That's like one of those like sexist bots that's just
Yeah.
trying to like stir shit up.
It's
The,
gotta be, man.
another one is it's like when the Beatles did Walrus. It's This is the White Stripes, I Am the Walrus, apparently. Yeah, according to this
Jack is
user.
a hell of a Beatles head. He would
Oh
probably
yeah.
love that. Go
He
watch a
would.
video of Jack White naming like 30 Beatles songs in under a second after hearing each of them. Like he's wild.
Yeah, my partner can do that. My
Oh
partner
yeah.
Amanda. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
hey,
Hey,
my partner Amanda claims to be able to write the lyrics of 10 Beatles songs from mind, like write them freehand. She said that, and we've been together for 6 years, and she hasn't done it yet.
hasn't happened.
I think she's lying.
Yeah.
Let me. Here's the one funny thing. In prepping for these kind of diamond in the rough songs, I
Mhm.
find that you can find a little bit more about them by looking them up on Discogs.
Oh
So
yeah.
I
Oh,
go
nice.
I go to Discogs and I'm like, okay, so let's type in "Who's a Big Baby," and you see, okay, it's on B-sides and rarities release. It's on the singles, and then I see that it's on the White Stripes greatest hits, and I have my vault edition of the White Stripes greatest hits from 2020, and the vault version includes a third disc which has all the B-sides and the rarities on it, and "Who's a Big Baby" is on it. So
That's awesome.
to all you haters out there, this song is a greatest hit of the White Stripes.
That's amazing. Well, I heard I heard that they I fact checked it. It looks to be true that on October 31st, 2005, they actually walked on stage to it in Amsterdam.
They did it a fair bit.
Oh, damn.
No, not a lot. So I'm glad that you fact checked that because um, I have a love-hate relationship with Setlist.fm, and
Sure.
they say that this song was performed once in in Detroit in '05, but no,
Mm,
whoever just supplied the set list, they walked out to it.
totally.
I think I remember I saw them on this tour in Vancouver, and I'm pretty sure they came out to it once. And one of the nights, and I'm like, well, this sucks. I don't want to hear this.
Were you aware of the song at the time, or was
I
that
would have been, yeah.
okay,
I
yeah.
remember special ordering the single from HMV when I was still in high school. So it was just right
Wow.
around graduating. So
That's
um
amazing.
yeah, and hey, I am it's funny as I'm getting older, like I've never been a guy to like I'm not going to go on tour and follow the White Stripes or Jack White, but if they come to
Sure.
town, I've seen them outside of a couple of performances when I was broke in college and couldn't see the Dead Weather or the Raconteurs. So like I've
Mm.
seen him perform live about 13 times, but it's just every time he comes I'm an adult and I will pay and talking to like young kids at the concert like this is the first time I've seen him like oh yeah I remember that and shit fuck god damn it I got old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens, man.
Brett, what has not gotten old is talking to you about this song and the White Stripes, and a band that we both love. I like to ask everybody as I wrap up speaking with them. I'm not going to. I have to change it because it's like the next time you listen to this song, I don't think there's going to be a next time for you or for me.
Yeah.
Give me your elevator pitch on Who's a Big Baby as you wave goodbye to it as it disappears into the distance, never to be heard from again.
My elevator pitch on Who's a Big Baby. Well, yeah, if you want to hear the epitome of one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, just losing their minds during a creative, drought. This is the song for you.
Okay, that was Brett. I'm Ryan. Ryan and Brett. Fun episode this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you thought of it. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Not a lot of people have listened to Who's a Big Baby. Today, on January 27th, it is at a whopping 97,000. Though I hear you calling, I will not answer. That's at 60,000. I think that might be the lowest White Stripes song streamed. 60,000 streams for that song. So I think that's the one. When we do Though I Hear You Calling, I Will Not Answer, that's when we really gotta shoot it up. Hope you enjoyed the show. Support us on Patreon if you like it. We'll be back next week. This is the Harsh Podcast, a podcast. It is hosted and produced by moi, Ryan Schapp. Artwork by Caitlin Likely. And Amanda Schultz is our assistant editorial producer. And Mike Noble, he's doing his work this week. He is our Gato.